After a most successful attack on a British merchant ship, and a rather heavy one at that, U-51 finds itself cruising above surface, dangerously close to British waters, for the most part unopposed, other than the one destroyer that couldn't find it and the fleet of aircraft flying overhead. Now, the most important thing that's happened recently since the sinking of the merchant vessel in grid AN-18 is a radio communique from one, let me just check here for a second, U-boat Captain Ryan Bannon, a slightly odd German name if I've ever seen one, but perhaps an expatriate. Jokes aside, Herr Bannon has been most helpful in improving our attack strategies, tactics, and general odds of survival in the North Sea and the Atlantic. Gulf von Biscaya. I never knew that's how the Bay of Biscay is said in German, and it's caught my attention, sorry. You know, join the Kriegsmarine, see the world. Mostly through maps, but see the world. Anyways, so I have a few different things to improve upon, basically, but, you know, this is to be expected. I am a relatively new captain. After all, we've only completed one patrol, and it is to be expected that that things like these will inevitably... Well, things like these, but like, it is to be expected that I will inevitably learn more as I go out on more and more patrols. Now, with that said, I do need to lower my periscopes, and I usually do that, but I haven't been particularly diligent about lowering them recently, so yeah, as you can see, that is most helpful, because, well, now we're no longer sticking out the water like a sore thumb. We're now sort of more... Well, we're closer to the waterline, and more difficult to spot, both from the air and from the sea. Or from the land at that point, because we are close to British... Well, to the British Isles proper, right? Anyways, all of that said, though, I did make a mistake when it comes to the deck gun, kind of. So, there are two ways of sinking a ship. Hitting it on the waterline, causing the maximum amount of holes in the hull, and sinking it with water, the traditional way, right? By putting water inside a ship, which is usually, you know, which usually doesn't fare well when it has water inside it. The other option is to use high explosive shells and hit the deck, the citadel, the cargo, and cause explosions on it and destroy it that way. Yes, that is a viable option. You can destroy vessels that way, however, it takes more shells. I've done a little bit of testing on it, I've read up a little bit on that, and yes, that takes more shells, even though it looks a little bit more fun to blow up the cargo, and like, I believe in one of the previous encounters I saw a truck fly off from the merchant vessel and hit the water, which was hilarious in some ways. It's not a sight that you see every day on the calm seas of the North Sea and the Atlantic, right? That said, though, although it is fun, it is far more effective to hit the waterline and flood the ship that way, though I've been having problems with that as well when using high explosive shells. AP does a great job of just piercing through everything. High explosive tends to act a little bit weird, but, you know, that said, ships do need a lot of time to take on the requisite amount of water for them to sink, so we'll keep that in mind. Also, using the deck gun more often is advantageous, as you save torpedoes and you cannot rearm without ending the patrol, which I already talked about, but also equally important, and something that I want to talk about, is the anti-aircraft gun. This tiny little flak, which we will be able to upgrade soon-ish, perhaps upon returning to the port at Kiel. However, you don't want to shoot aircraft with a submarine. Ever. And I'll sort of step out of character here and discuss this. because I find it incredibly fun, right? I find it incredibly fun to grab the flak gun and shoot a Spitfire out of the sky, or a torpedo bomber or something. It's just fun to see them go down, see the damage model accurately reflect the damage that you've inflicted upon the aircraft. If you shot like one engine or the tail or whatever, it's going to reflect that. For a 2005 game, it's freaking phenomenal, right? That said, though, it is dumb. I mean, just straight up dumb. Both in the 1940s, in 1939, in 2012, in 2020, it's always dumb. Submarines are not able to carry effective anti-air weaponry, period, pretty much. I mean, even 2020, the most effective anti-air and anti-helicopter weaponry mounted on submarines are some type of glorified man-pads, one way or another. Now, whilst these can, with relative reliability, hit helicopters, ASW equipment, such as ASW aircraft, ASW helicopters, anything in the air, and down them most likely, it is a stupid thing to do, because this submarine costs 4.1, I think, or 4.2 million Deutschmarks. 4.2 million Deutschmarks. The aircraft that I'm going to shoot down with this, in comparison, is worthless. A late German Messerschmitt or a Bf-109, a late war, like from the 1944 era, right? The B3 or A3 was the variant that was like one of the most common, expensive ones. I forget, but anyways, one of the later and more advanced variants of the Bf-109 costs, I think, around 100,000 Deutschmarks. And that's one of the more expensive aircraft in the Luftwaffe, not to mention some of the less glorious and less modern-looking aircraft for the time, right? Some of the pre-war stuff and the start of the war stuff that they were still flying around in the in 44 and 45, which pretty much, I mean, every other army and every other air force that participated in World War II still had old aircraft, because, you know, it's wartime. You need more aircraft. You know, it doesn't matter if they're all the latest tech or not. You just need to put stuff in the air most of the time. And they don't need to be the most modern, cutting, bleeding edge of technology kind of stuff. If they get the job done, then it works. Anyways, my point being, it's idiotic to risk a 4.2 million Deutschmark submarine against an aircraft that's relatively worthless in comparison. Also, gotta remember, the Kriegsmarine doesn't exactly have thousands of these U-boats. I mean, by the end of the war, I think, like some 800, 900 or something were made. But that's not entirely showing the full picture. A lot of those submarines were just coastal Type 2s. A lot of those submarines barely saw any service. Now, the Kriegsmarine did have a fair few U-boats, let's not get that confused. It's not like we are one of a kind sailing out there in the North Sea, but that said, the RAF, by the end of the war, had around 120,000 aircraft in service. Currently, I think they have, it's 39, so I think they have roughly around 12,000 or something like that. Yeah. I'm not counting transport aircraft, by the way. I'm counting, like, fighters, bombers, etc., right? ASW aircraft and so on. ASW, by the way, is anti-submarine warfare, if anyone's curious. So, with this lengthy intro, let's head on over to the navigation table and speed time up. There's also been a fair few other tricks and tips, such as flak speed and stuff. Basically, don't use it. And I won't. The only reason I used it is to catch up to this thing, because I didn't want to let it go. And also to escape, I think. I used it once or twice. But I am very, very worried about using flak speed, even full speed, because it just burns an insane amount of diesel. and it can actually blow up the engines. You can have serious damages with flak speed, and actually I checked this, it's actually even more true with the mod, because you can have various types of damages. So you can have, like, well, you know, you could be just, the engines could just like overheat or something, or they can just blow up. Yes, that's not good. That is not good. When you're in the middle of nowhere, or even worse, close to England, or Scotland rather, you don't want your engines to blow up. No. Alright, anyways, let's continue our patrol. I think we lost the aircraft that were hunting us in this region. Also, I say that as one appears. Let's go to periscope depth. Let's go to periscope depth. And let's go on the observation periscope and raise it ever so slightly. My idea was to try and spot the aircraft that was trying to find us, but I doubt that's going to happen, so let's put this down. And oh, also here, this is where I'm going to find most of the neutral and merchant vessels. Yeah, like coastal tanker, chemical goods freighter. Man, look at this thing. Medium freighter. Wreck of a coastal merchant. Interesting. Wreck of C2 cargo. War melody type. WHA. Whale, I guess. Why is the H capitalized? Whale factory ship. Victory cargo. Transport ship. Tramp Merchant 2, target ship. Soviet freighter, yes. Small motor vessel. Small merchant Varna, small merchant. Tsar merchant, repair ship. Red Cross cargo. We're really gonna sink a Red Cross cargo? Look, we'll make the call when we get to it. Passenger wreck, parcel freighter, ore carrier. Hold. I nearly read that as something else beginning with R, but I don't want to say what. Motor vessel, motor ship, merchant type, and then a bunch of random numbers. Medium steamer, and oh, look at that, Liberty cargo. Shocking. Truly shocking. Yeah, it's the Liberty cargo's there. I didn't realize that they were here, like, under no flag. I thought that maybe because it's a British ship, I'll find it under the British flag, which I still put it to you is sensible, but no, it's actually one of the neutral, it's under, like, the neutral section in the book, in the recognition manual, because it's not part of the Royal Navy, it's just a trade ship, right? If we're looking at Royal Navy warships, we should look in the Royal Navy segment of the recognition manual, or the British Reich of the manual. So that is very, very useful, and no wonder I wasn't able to find it. Now, also, I believe, yeah, I can do this, which I didn't realize, and I've learned this on my own by fiddling with my what's it called? With my navigation table. I can actually move the next waypoint. The way I used to do it is I deleted all the waypoints and then plotted a new course, but in actual fact you can just like update the course you already gave to your crew. Very useful. But anyways, for now, let's get on the observation periscope and raise it ever so slightly above water, and see if we can't see anything, and I think we'll continue to travel below water for a little bit, and there's the reason. There's a fairy swordfish traveling southeast, fast mover. Well, I think that's technically a modern term, but yes, it is an aircraft, okay? they are looking for me, and the smoking wreckage of that Liberty cargo is not going to help alleviate their concerns anytime soon about U-boats near Scotland, but it is what it is. We have sort of left a small trail of dead on our way here, and I can more or less track exactly where we came from, and probably where we're going. It's also not worth engaging aircraft for the reason that they can radio the position into other aircraft and vessels in the area. Yeah, that's not great, but again, I say it is fun, and if there's one swordfish in the air and not many more around it, I might be tempted to engage, right? I might be tempted to engage just because I find it fun, and look, it's good. It's eye candy, right? It's good eye candy. That said, though, I will try and do my utmost to keep this crew safe. What are our batteries at? You know what? Let's surface the boat. Let's surface the boat, and I keep forgetting. Observation periscope needs to go down, because we are sticking out like a sore thumb again. Though actually not that much, because I haven't, like... I didn't put it all the way up, just slightly above, so it's not doesn't make that much of a difference. But it pays to be diligent, especially when we're dodging aircraft. Alright. Not something you want to be doing in a U-boat in general. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to patrol AN-18 and then leave, because... yeah, periscope depth. And then leave because... is it turning? It's turning towards me, isn't it? Okay, tell you what. Full speed and turn. There is two of them. Those have missed, but we are dodging. Yeah, this is what I meant, like, we need to just leave the area. They're probably going to go around and come back for another run.
Contact! Warship closing! Bearing 276.
Oh, there's a warship incoming as well, is there? We have it on sound contact. Okay, let's keep heading this way. And we're gonna have to see where that warship is going. And we're not entirely sure, but if it's heading towards me, I'll happily just go around it and keep patrolling. Am I a little bit worried about the RAF dropping bombs on top of my head every 5 minutes? Slightly. Slightly, but, you know. I am taking precautions. Let's go on the observation periscope. Take it slightly above the waterline. And that'll give us vision. An Avro Anson traveling westwards very fast, slightly above us, or slightly above us, directly above us probably. Can I actually catch a glimpse of that aircraft, maybe? Oh, there it is. It is the one that dropped bombs on me. Or it looks like that from afar, I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Let's keep going, I guess. I should probably mark the direction they were traveling in, because I have an idea. Also, let's delete all these other waypoints because they're confusing, and ooh, well actually no, here's the thing. I kind of want to do... whoops. I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to double back and return to the scene of the crime, if that makes sense. Because I think they think I'm heading this way. Maybe towards Scapa Flow, maybe just towards this gulf here. If I turn around, I should be able to just leave them searching this area. Should. Again, doesn't necessarily mean that it will happen, but I am going to start marking down the flight paths of the aircraft that I spot. Because my thinking is they might actually show me something useful. Now, we do have that sound contact here. I kind of want to get closer to it, even if it's a destroyer. Mostly because currently a destroyer doesn't scare me. Should it? Quite possibly. But there's also a chance that it's not a destroyer, that it's like a cruise ship or a merchant or a, well, not a merchant, it's a warship, but it could be like a battleship or something, in which case, well, how's that better? Well, they're not exactly equipped to deal with submarines, are they? I don't like this angle of approach, though, so let's keep going at full speed and get the hell out of here. I still have ample fuel, so I can burn about 50% of it, and still have more than enough to... Ooh. Whoops. And still probably have more than enough to... Oh. Okay, so let me just mark this down. So it came to there, and then it went back. Are they going like this? Because I'm hoping that I've figured out their search pattern and then can just leave quietly. So I'm also going to lower the observation periscope all the way down. And I'm going to raise the attack periscope because this one has better magnification on it. And I'm going to try and spot that that sound contact, which, according to sonar, is some 9 kilometers away. At... that can't be right. At 40? No, that's not 40 because this down there is 0. Like... okay, that sort of angle. Got it. So this is 0, this is 90, he should be like there-ish. Yep, there he is. I don't know what that is. And I can't see the silhouette properly, but it might be a destroyer. Let's take a look at the... this is going to be a slow episode, by the way, I apologise. So let's go British Reich. Well, it's probably going to be a destroyer, so let's take a look at destroyers. They're on the DD, right? These will be destroyers. It's not that, most likely. Doesn't look like it, I'm not sure. Oh, whoops. Right. CNDCL. Doesn't look like it. See, 2 chimneys, there's only smoke coming out of 1. The DD Hunt. This one looks a little bit too small to be that, plus there's not a lot of, So it's going that way, right? I think it's going that way, which means the chimney is towards the front of the vessel. But there's also, like, something up here like that, right? Like, at the back of the vessel, there seems to be more stuff. I'm not sure if it's cargo, weapons, crew space, or whatever, but there is something in the back of the ship. That's what it looks like to me, at least. Now, I understand that there are 6 different variants of this thing. This has more anti-air or secondary batteries. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's a secondary battery. And this one has... like more guns at the front, and I'm not sure what this is. Radar, maybe? Or something? It could be one of these. See, chimney at the front, and then there's like the bulky front bit, and at the back we do have stuff. It could be one of these. The more I'm looking at all these different ships, the more I'm thinking, yeah, that actually could be a destroyer. It is moving quickly. It is moving it around. Oh, mind you, it's not moving that quickly. Like, I wanted to say like 12 knots maybe, but it would have been getting away from me. We're at 10 knots. Let's turn in on it. Let's turn in on it and identify it and try and sink it, because it hasn't spotted me. It has not spotted me yet. And British destroyers are, in all due honesty, kind of blind at this stage of the war. Now, the angle is by no means good. It is getting away from me. There's a swordfish aircraft over there. Tell you what, let's go attack periscope down. Let the aircraft pass, but before they do... Oh, what? They haven't seen me, right? There's no way they've seen me. Okay. They have a very good idea of where I am. I mean, obviously, I've recently been spotted over here somewhere, I think. I should really mark down where I've been spotted. In, you know, somehow. Not with these, though, but with something else. I use these to mark my kills. Yeah, alright. So, plan remains the same. We're getting close to this destroyer. Oh, I'm not sure if it's a destroyer, but I assume it's a destroyer. However, let's not make too many maneuvers. I'm not sure what their capabilities are, but we are rather sneaky underwater. Batteries are at 50% though. That's all right. I can live with that. Still going full speed. Fuel is more than all right. 8 kilometers away. 9 kilometers away. Yeah, I'm around 9 kilometers away. We should be able to spot him and identify him at around 8 kilometers-ish. And also, he appears to be heading, like... Is he changing course? No, he's just heading, like... Like that, I guess? Yeah, I think I found its heading roughly accurately. It's actually more downwards. Yeah. Tell you what, this thing's too fast. Let's... We're never getting closer to it. Let's try and spot it now. See if it's any closer. Also, it is getting late. It's 5:50. Soon it will be hunting time. Should be dead ahead somewhere, right? It's actually further away now than it was previously, which goes to show that it is getting away from me. Okay. Lower the periscope, because I don't want to know what's above me, honestly. I'll feel safer in ignorance. And let's just go that way, and just out of here. Mostly because I think I've done alright with dodging the RAF in a way. It is still moving away from me, alright. Great job on the sound contact, by the way. I mean, I put some improved sonar and hydrophones and stuff on the U-boat. I really love that it's showing now. Though they are extremely vulnerable to depth charges, the new equipment, the new hydrophones, really. But you know, it's all right. I don't intend on getting hit by them. He says, having been dodging them for almost like what? Full 2 days at this point. It is getting nighttime soon, and at night is when, yeah, there it is. As at night is actually where, for one, we can surface, because as you can see, they can't. Oh, good, glorious. All right, I'll keep sailing around like this, and we'll see if something exciting happens. Right, so no more than a few hours later, and my second-in-command reports that we have a contact. It was there at 9 o'clock PM. It is a ship traveling slow west-southwest. Most likely a merchant vessel. I've plotted an intercept course already, and we are on our way. Given the fact that this ship is moving rather slowly, I think we should be able to intercept it somewhere around there. And we will have a decent angle of attack on it. Now, it is unfortunately not in grid AN18, but this grid is messy currently. I think we've been able to escape the aircraft search grid or perimeter, or however you call it, because this is all the aircraft contacts that I've seen. A lot of these were the same aircraft, by the way. It's not like there's 50 different aircraft here, but yes. The destroyer moved away south, and the aircraft continue their search here, but nothing so far to the north. And since this point, I haven't seen any aircraft. Now, mind you, it is pitch black outside, so I'm not sure I will be able to spot an aircraft unless it's flying literally over the moon, just randomly, or on that sort of flight path. But whether we can't see each other, I suppose, or they are legitimately gone from the area, makes a little difference to me, because I can now become active again in the hunt for British vessels. So let's slow down to standard speed. I was in a bit of a hurry to get out of here. Plus, I, in all due honesty, have diesel to burn, and going at full speed doesn't seem to drain the reserves nowhere near as much. Oh. That said, though, And there is a vessel here. Another one. Heading that away. It is a medium-moving ship. It was there at 2310, travelling south-southwest. Can't help but notice a lot of these ships seem to be heading here. You would think that they would head either for Scapa Flow or maybe around and down to places like Hartlepool, I guess, or Dover, or London even. But no, a lot of them seem to be heading this way. Now, I wonder if there's something here that we don't know about, or maybe our previous raid I think it was like a month ago now, here actually influenced the patrol routes. I'm not sure if that's the case, but I think it might be with the Living Silent Hunter thing. That actually might influence, because I did hit the port itself, came to like 10, 11 kilometers away from the port, and just launched all the torpedoes, hit a bunch of vessels, got out, damaged a few, sunk one or two I think, and then just left. Didn't do a lot of damage, it was incredibly risky, but I think we sent an important message to Her Majesty's Navy, or His Majesty's Navy, sorry. So yeah, it might be that. Also, I'm not sure when I'm going to intercept this thing. I'm maybe a little bit too optimistic when it comes to its speed.
Ship spotted.
Yep, there it is. Oh! Okay, dive to periscope depth, obviously, but this is... Yeah, this is that merchant ship. It just, like, went off course a little bit. Okay. Well, I mean, at least we found it, right? The angle isn't great. It's a Tramp Merchant 2. And now I can actually use this book properly and identify it, because I wish these were in alphabetical order, honestly. Which I don't think they are, because a Tramp Merchant... Ah, yeah, they're kind of not. Okay, so it's a Tramp Merchant 2. It is unarmed. Its top speed is 13 knots, though.
Current depth 10.
Its mast is 25 meters. Its draft is 6.8 meters. 2.3 thousand... well, 2,300 GRT. 88 meters in length, beams 13 meters. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I want to go to full speed. I want to get people on the electric engines, because we need to go quickly. And I'm now in a bit of a weird spot, because on one hand I don't want to use the torpedoes for what I assume are in many ways obvious reasons. Just above the waterline, there we go. For what I assume are obvious reasons, I don't actually want to use the torpedoes. But then at the same time, I kind of do. If that makes sense. Now, we're currently traveling at 7 knots, which is not a lot. And that ship should be right there. Yes, it is. It is also traveling at 7... Whoops. I'm so sorry about that. It is also currently traveling at 7 knots. And it is just 6,000 meters away. Angle on bow is 130, which is terrible. Here's an idea. Here's an idea. Considering we are faster than it, if we, choose to be, why don't we improve the angle on bow? Like so. Because it's difficult to hit from there. Alright, let's just go flak very, very briefly. And return to full. Sod it. You know what? Sod it. Coming towards him. Captain, CO, surface the boat. Full speed ahead, surface the boat. If it sees us, it'll start dodging. If it doesn't, it's its own demise. I kind of want to fire a torpedo now. It's really darn close. Alright, let's do it. Let's fire a torpedo. Flood tube 1. Go to the attack map. Depth of 3. Fast torpedo. Medium speed. I'm a little bit worried of firing fast because their range is really not that great. Magnetic piston, I suppose. And loss. Because I need to slow that thing down. And also, if I do try and approach it, I have to sacrifice something. Either I sacrifice a torpedo and try and hit the thing and just blow it up in one shot, or alternatively, I sacrifice my safety and the lives of my crew, which is not ideal either. And by that I mean, if I get out on the deck gun and start shooting it, everyone and their mother is gonna know that I'm here. Right? Quite literally, everyone and their mother in the area is going to know that I am here. This is not good. Right? This is oh so not good. And I want to avoid that at all costs. So, yeah. Let's sink this merchant, and then I think we're going to head this way and try and sink this one, and then possibly return to where we were going. Now, let's see if we hit or not. Use the attack map to track the torpedo. Doesn't look like it changed its course. This thing looks like it's on course. Yep, that's an impact, alright. Let's watch.
Torpedo impact.
There we go. We got her. Now, she should be taking on... I can barely see the ship, by the way. I mean, I can sort of see it, but I can barely see the ship. Now, she should be taking on some water and slowing down, but even if she doesn't, we are faster, and I will intercept it. So, let's head on over to crew management and see how things are looking. Put people on diesel engines. And my crew needs to rest, by the way, and soon. We need to get out of these treacherous waters. We've been here for a bit too long without any respite, but what's the distance between us now? It's 3.8 kilometers. It's actually not that significant, but I am incredibly quick compared to this thing. And so, as a result, I think I'm just going to get closer to 2.4, and then man the deck gun. Who do I man the deck gun with? I guess the torpedo people? Deck gun.
We're under attack, sir.
What do you mean we're under attack? The thing has no armament. At least I don't think. Too high. But if the enemy ship is attacking us, you never know. Maybe I should be firing at the deck. Okay, lower. Though that did start a fire, which is not good for the enemy in any way, shape, or form. Okay, that should be good, though, right? I want to take out that searchlight. Ooh, it's launching flares just as it blows up. Flares not going to be very helpful, though. I mean, you want to launch flares? Sure, look. I'll send you a flare your way. There you go. See? Happy with that? Bastards. Alright. Crew management. Get the watch back. You back in the torpedo room. We did good. We did very, very good. Of course, the problem here is they will radio our position on, but that doesn't seem to be too much of a concern currently. Did I really land that flare like right on top of the ship, or like right in front of the ship? That was one hell of a shot for a flare. And oh, we get an underwater kind of shot. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that is just gorgeous. I'm going to take a picture of that. Beautiful. Down she goes. I think the torpedo might have been enough if we just let her sink, but you never know. Let's head towards the other merchant ship and see what we can do over there. Until then, though, until we find it, I bid you all farewell.